Are you prepared? You and your friends are coming home from a great evening out. All of a sudden, bam, you're rear-ended. Your friend's head flies into the dashboard. There's broken glass everywhere. Everybody's bleeding and crying. Are you prepared? You take your dog out for a nice leisurely stroll through the woods, enjoying nature and having fun together. And out of nowhere comes a wild animal and attacks you and your dog. Are you prepared? That's the question we're going to take a look at today during this video. Before we get started, a quick disclaimer. This is not medical advice. This is not medical instruction. This is just an entertainment type video. Take with it what you will. But I want you to come away from this video and think about what we've talked about and what you see and decide for yourself, how prepared do you want to be? Are you interested in taking classes? Do you want to put yourself a kit together like this? So, with that being said, let's take a look at my kit. Bring in a little closer. Okay, so previously in a video I showed you real quick my kind of first impressions on this Medimatic bag. It's a $40 bag, so it's an inexpensive bag in relation to a lot that are out there. So during this video I'm also going to point out some things about this bag as we go along. Okay, so I wanted to put together a cost-effective bag to cover my uses, which is going to be, this is a trauma kit for my car, and this is also for me and my friends when we're out on our camping trips. Because yes, I'm the boo-boo girl. When somebody does something silly and they get an owie, they come to the boo-boo girl to get their stuff. So I wanted to make sure I had a nice capable kit with me. And I also do stop at accidents and try to help people. It's just a flaw in my character that I have. So anyways, let's take a look what we got on the bag. So the first thing, there are Chinese products in here, unfortunately. But to make a cost-effective bag, and I do buy in bulk, there's certain things it's okay to cheap out on, like bandages and stuff, and there's certain things that is, in my opinion, it is not. But this is just a pair of knockoff Leatherman Raptor shears. These work very well for Chinese made, and a lot of things are made in China that we buy nowadays quite a bit. But these were 12 bucks. They'll cut through tubing, they'll cut through jeans, they'll cut through just a ton of stuff that I put them through with no issues. So there you go. So got a nice pair of shears. This is a generic version of the Rescue Me tool. I have the Rescue Me tools. They're great. They both function exactly the same way. You have your seatbelt cutter here, and it's on this nice quick release, so you can grab it right away, but it doesn't fly off. And then you have a spring-loaded punch is what breaks the window. And being silly as I was the very first time I bought one of these, I wanted to know how strong that spring was. And like a dope, I pushed it with my finger. Don't do that. It left a huge indent in my finger. My finger was sore for an entire week. It is a very strong punch. So there you go. If you want to see a video on that and see me breaking glass with it or something, let me know and I can do that. On this other quick release here, I have a whistle. Whoa, that thing is loud. And I have a magnet. Plenty of uses for that. But the whistle is a great tool because it's louder than your voice. It carries for great distances. So if you need help, it's a great, three blows to get people's attention. If you're helping someone else and you need more help, it's another great way to get somebody to come on over and see what the noise is about. Most people know what the 3 whistle blows are for. And hopefully those are the people that are around. Okay. The ouch pouch, just my sense of humor. And then I did purchase these really nice rubberized first aid hook and loop patches just to identify the bag in case I'm not the person going into the bag. That way they know it's a medical bag. Because I chose black. I've had a ton of colors over the years. There's nothing wrong with any particular color. I just went with this for low profile. I do not want somebody smashing out my window thinking there's drugs in this bag to take the bag. So just my view on it for now. Now currently the trend with these type of bags are the book style where you flip the pages and they have all these pockets in them. And I'm not knocking any company or the bag or anything like that. Just in my experience, I haven't had any luck with those bags. Because once you use up the supplies in there that were perfectly put in by the company who made them, and you decide to purchase, you know, supplies from other companies, they don't fit back in there right. It's hard to organize, and in my experience, the supplies have fallen out. Just something to keep in mind. It might not ever happen to you. Maybe you've had the best luck with them. That's great. I just haven't had that luck with them. Okay, so on the back of this bag, I can't remember the name of the company. Everything will be down in the description for you. It's Goose something. But I got a 3-pack of these watertight bags. And it works great because this way, if I have to lay the bag down and it's wet or it's just gross, it's going to get on that and not so much on the bag and the contents and stuff. Also, if I'm out camping and one of my friends does something silly a couple miles out of camp, and it's raining or something or pouring, I can slide the bag into this until I get to them, and that way it keeps all my supplies from getting soaked, because that could be a bad thing with bandages. So that's why I added that. Alright, so we're going to get into the bag. Now this handle here, which is great, this goes, I use this as a handle to remove it from my car because it's easy to grab and it holds really strong. It holds on the rip-away, it holds on the rip-away panel here because it has a rip-away panel. You can attach it to your seat if you wanted to and then just rip the bag off and go. And then underneath this, if you saw the previous video, you can turn this into a shoulder bag, a fanny bag, a belly bag, whatever. So, but it does make a really great handle to move this thing around. Hey, there's Nurse Boo Boo. Hi, Nurse Boo Boo. Okay. So, now I really like the fact that they put hook and loop here on this little additional piece of strapping here, because that way it flips out of the way. Sorry, Medimatic, I replaced your branded pulls. Now, if it's not me going in this bag and it's somebody who doesn't have any medical experience or somebody who's just freaking out and their fine motor controls have gone out the window, these pulls are going to make it really easy for them to recognize where they are to get the bag open, and they're really, really easy to open up. So that was the reason I did that. Got to make a med kit easy to get into. Alright, so on to the supplies. Okay, so first thing is, here's the NPA, and I did have this tape to it. I guess that tape wasn't the best tape to use. So it's got lubricant on the back. So this is kind of designed around the March algorithm. There is also the March E. There's whatever you subscribe to, there's ABC. Everybody's been trained differently depending on who's trained you. So that's in there for your breathing. And then my cat. All right, so this is my tourniquet I chose. I chose the cat because to me the cat is got a great proven history for one. It's very intuitive to use for two. It's 30 bucks. Is your life worth 30 bucks? Is your friends and family's life worth 30 bucks? I get this stuff can get expensive. Believe me, I have a bunch of kits, so I understand they can get quite expensive. But the problem with $15 Chinese tourniquets or tourniquets off Amazon is they don't have the proven history, because you've seen it once or twice on a video or you've put it on your arm a couple of times and it worked. I mean, there's no guarantee 100% on any of these, but chances are you're better off with a branded, proven quality one. Mine is set up for easy, quick deployment. It's out of the package. It's all set up and ready to go, and I suggest if you're going to carry one of these, you do that. If you're concerned about it getting dirty or yucky or something, you can slip it in an easy rip-away type plastic bag, nothing really thick, or put it in a tourniquet holder. But tourniquet for sure. Got to have that for trauma. This is more along the lines of when you're out in the woods. So you got, IV treatments, poison ivy. There's towelettes and treatments and stuff in here. There's some like burn cream, bug cream, hand sanitizer, stuff geared more toward the woods. PPE, I got to relabel this. I want it to be a little easier to recognize, but I know my kit, but just in case someone else grabs it. This is really important whether your skin's intact or not, because at times, like on my knuckle there, you can see, I don't know when I did this, where I did it. So there's always that chance that you might not know that you have a cut if you're not doing this for a living. So it's really good to get into the practice of using PPE for both you and whoever, if you're helping somebody. cross-contamination. You don't want their germs, they don't want your germs, and if somebody's got open wounds, and you just want to be, it's not sterile, but you want to try to protect both you and them. So there's some wet wipes in there, and then there's a mask in there, in case there's stuff spraying or they're coughing up stuff, so it doesn't get in your mouth. Or if somebody's just got really bad breath, you can put that on. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I got a little toolkit here. Fingernail clippers. Very versatile to have in any first aid kit, even if you're just going to carry a boo-boo kit. Not only for when you crack and split your nails and stuff, but it's a cutting device. There's also a fingernail file behind this, a metal one, which can be used for a bunch of different things. I dated my thermometer. Again, this is more thermometers for, my woodland type stuff, in case somebody comes down with the flu or something. So I dated when the battery's on there because I have a bad habit of forgetting this way. With the many kits that I have, excuse me, I know that when I need to replace the battery more or less. And then I just have a pen light in here and a bunch of large safety pins. The pen light's really good. It's got the pupil measurement thing on here. Again, that's going to be more if you're trained. Generally look to see if they're equal, round, and reactive, the pupils. When you hit them with the light, they'll change. But you'll know too, if one pupil is huge, blown, and one's really small, that's, a good sign that there's a head injury. But again, get training. This came from one of my old trainings. I don't remember where I got it or what class I got it in, but I know this is really old because I threw this in somewhere and lost it. And so I found it again. So now this is really good if it's someone that you don't know a lot about or whatever. First, I would introduce myself and ask their name, so you're not just jumping on somebody working on them. Plus, you have to check with your local Good Samaritan laws. In my area, you actually have to have permission from somebody to help them first. So you might want to look into that as well. Again, don't do anything above your training because you could hurt or kill somebody. But this book is great because then you can get what their chief complaint is. You can pass this on when medical personnel arrives. Any medical history, and you're having a conversation with the person while you're helping them, which is also going to help you gauge, obviously if they're talking, they're breathing, if they're having trouble breathing, if they're oriented to date and times, such things like that. But again, you'll learn that if you take some training classes. Ammonia inhalants. These things are wicked. Do not use these unless you really, really want that person awake, because they're going to be awake. This stuff is just nasty stuff, but it does what it's intended to do. It works really well. All right, I got a couple of Mylar bags in here. Everybody knows what these are for unless you've fallen off the face of the earth, but just in case you haven't, they're really good for treating shock. They do not heat the way you think they heat, though. These are just reflecting your body heat. This is a different kind of warmth. It's not like throwing a wool blanket on and feeling that warm, snuggly feeling. It's a heat retention because in accidents and stuff, you can lose your body heat relatively quickly. But again, if you are in a situation where you need to use something like this, it's best to insulate the person first. Put clothes on, put a regular type of blanket on something, and then put this on. But if this is all you have, it will definitely help. All right, behind that, again, this is along the lines for when I'm out camping with my friends, and one of my friends has one too many and decides to turn the logs in the fire and burns themselves. Or reaches for that cast iron skillet and grabs the end of that without the little cozy on it. And then there you go. So these burn shields are relatively inexpensive because they're not the big brand name. They're not water jet, but they have the exact same stuff inside them. This is 4x4 impregnated with some burn cream. And then I have some burn cream, and then I also have some Adaptic 3M non-adhering dressings, which are really good in those type of situations. This is not for major burns. These are for minor burns. You would never put this stuff on a major burn. The burn unit's going to have to deal with that kind of stuff if you're really, and you'll know the difference right away when you approach somebody if they have severe 3rd degree, 4th degree burns. In that particular case, what I was trained, and again, this is not training, just commenting, is to use water to get the burning to stop. Use water to get the burning to stop. Cover it with clean dressings, rolled gauze, just to keep any more crap from getting in there. But you're stopping the burn. And then the burn unit will take care of them. But that's for minor boo-boos. Okay, so now this was a cool new find in my search here. Quick Clot is the gold standard and combat gauze and all that stuff for hemostatic type gauzes. But I came across this AllaQuix. It has the exact same kaolin, that they use in Quick Clot. The difference is one package of Quick Clot is anywhere from $18 to $20. You start getting into combat gauze, you're talking 40, 50 bucks. So this was, I'll put it down in the description, but I think this was less than $10 for one package. I think I got a 2-pack for like $18.50. So there you go. So it's a Z-fold, which is cool. Z-fold, it's awesome. It comes out, you want it to come out more like a tissue than a roll because you don't want to be unwrapping. So that was a really cool find. And then to back that up, I also purchased 2 additional, you can see the company name there. These are also Z-fold, but there's no hemostatic agent in these. The hemostatic is great. It's gold standard to stop bleeding. But these will work just as well. So I have 3 now to help with this. All right. Sawt T. Everybody has their opinions on tourniquets, and I'm going to give you mine. So a Sawt T, to me, is a very, very versatile tool. It's very hard to use on yourself because of the slippery nature. Not that it can't be done, it can. But it's just harder to use. I mean, if it was me, I'd grab that cat tourniquet first. But this comes in handy for children, elderly, very, very thin people, and your dog. Because these combat application tourniquets, cats, the Sawt T wide, all these different ones out on the market, these were more designed for the military people out there fighting in combat. And in my experience, most of them are pretty big dudes. So these will not work too well on very, very small people. Children, you don't really, from what I've heard through training, you don't really need a tourniquet, the pressure alone, because they are so small, it's easier to cut off the blood supply on a small child. But again, this is just such a versatile tool. You could use it as a pressure bandage. You can use this for your dog. If you do use this for your dog and camping, and that's one thing I'm still waiting to come in that I didn't have in time for this video, is a muzzle. Whether it's your dog, someone else's dog, any dog, it won't matter. If they are hurt, they're going to snap. It's just because they're hurt. It's not because they don't love you anymore. But it's because they're hurt. So you should carry a muzzle with you if you're taking your dog a lot of places where an injury can happen. But very versatile tool, and it works great. It goes along with the Z-fold bandages and stuff. You could make a pressure bandage with it. Okay. Starting to stumble. All right. Now, these 2, again, this was a budget type purchase. It is still a chest seal. It's a vented chest seal. How sticky it is, I don't know. But it was an inexpensive purchase. I think these things were only like $5 or $6 a piece. So I typically go for Hyphen, the white package ones, but they had prices vary and fluctuate so much. They had jumped up quite a bit. So again, I was trying to put together an economical bag to show you that it can be done. So it is a chest seal. If it's not really sticky, if you open it up and you need to use it, you can always use duct tape to help you out. But they're vented, and there's 2 of them. So just expands the capability that I have. This has got to come out. This is expired, but I wanted to ask, maybe you guys know about this. Quick Clot, years ago, they came out with some different type of trauma kits, and this was in one of my kits. And this is a 50-gram clotting sponge. Now, they did a video on this, and it was really impressive. You know, sadly, they used an animal for the demonstration, but it showed an arterial bleed where, I mean, you're talking huge puddles of blood. It just filled the cavity really quick. But with one of these clotting sponges and some of that Z-fold gauze, they were able to stop an arterial bleed. This was years ago. That's impressive. I mean, that's why I wanted one. But this one's expired, so I have to take it out of the kit. But I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if they still make them. If they do, let me know. They might have got away from that. I don't know. All right, so I also have, this is like, I think it's a 12 cc, yeah, 12 cc syringe for irrigation. So high force irrigation to clearing out wounds and stuff. So, you know, you're in the woods, you fall down, you tear your knee open, you got dirt and crap in there. You can use this, or you can improvise. I mean, who does? I carry water bottles when I go, and I use the plastic water bottles. Yeah, I know, but like the Ice Mountain that you get from the store, and I have one right here. Versus, I carry other types of water and other containers with me as well, but that's a different video. But regular Ice Mountain, because you can poke a hole in the top of this, and you've got powerful irrigation and a whole lot of it. So. Just another way to improvise. You can do one hose, you can do multiple depending on how much force that you need. But I have used this in the backcountry and it works really well. So, but an irrigation syringe, if you got one, it's nice to have it. And then, let's see, the last thing in here is just ice pack in case you get a sprain or something. So, you have something for that. Now, the bag itself. Okay, a couple of things on this bag. I like the elastic pockets, elastic bands and the pockets because it's versatility. I can swap out gear, different sizes, different lengths, all that stuff. So it kind of, you know, keeps me from being too limited. This one has a slip pocket here, but on the back of this, which I didn't notice the first time around, is there's actually 3 individual pockets here, about 3 or 4 fingers in width behind each of these bands. So here, here, and here. So you have some extra organization there. And then it just repeats up here. Now, and I get that they have to do these bags for the masses, for the general public, but I would love to see a contrasting background. So you have your black elastic and say a medium gray background. Because if you shove some stuff down in these pockets, you might not be able to see too well with it being black. It just makes it more visible, makes it more pop up. But I would stay away from that red though because it might blend in with some things you're trying to have pop out to you during an emergency situation. But again, just my 2 cents on that. But I do love that. That's a great setup and it works well for me. Okay, so now on this side of the bag, let's see if I get you up a little more. Okay. Let's see. Let me go over these bags here real quick. Alright, so on these again, really nice 2-mesh rip-away bags. This too. This could have been, they could have had different colors of mesh on the bag. They could have done just a hook and loop, so at a later date you could put hook and loop labels on here. You know, this is meds. I put green on here for me to signify that this is medication to me, and then I put blue on there for bandages. Many different ways to organize things, make it easier to get into. Just some ideas, some suggestions that would be cool to see. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to make it like a circus and make this one red and this one yellow and this one green, and you know, but just a different color for the bag to make them jump out a little bit more. But anyways, so rip off. All right, here's my meds. These are just over-the-counter meds. If you have your own prescriptions and stuff, you can put them in to supplement your pack. I was just told, though, that you should leave them in the prescription bottles. Don't take them out and put them in plastic. I have this stuff, especially if you're taking like narcotic-type medication, certain prescriptions that, you know, send a red flag to law enforcement. So you want to make sure that they're in the prescription bottles or that you have a prescription to have that medication so you don't get in trouble. St. Joseph's, man, this stuff has been around for as long as I can remember. 81 milligrams chewables. Now again, this was something I learned through the course of my life and through some training. I had an episode years ago, and the paramedics had given me this suspecting that I was having a heart attack. And they gave me 4 of these pills, and back then they put them under your tongue. Nowadays they say chew them because it gets in your bloodstream faster. But and it's aspirin, so there you go. It's a lower dose too, in case you have kids. Medications, different stuff. Acid indigestion, Benadryl, ibuprofen, you know, all generic type stuff. You can get these in really nice size kits where they have a variety of meds in them, and you can split them up to put them in different packs, which is what I did. Just some extra Benadryl and Pepto, because, man, you don't want tummy troubles. You don't want tummy troubles out in the woods. That's no good. Alright, then I have some antiseptics. These are really good. Hand sanitizers, I have them like everywhere because you never know what pack you're going to grab. Providone iodine. I have some alcohol swabs in here and some BZK antiseptic. And I had a particularly nasty cut, and I was concerned about infection because I was going to be, you know, away for a while. So, and this I just did myself. I took a couple of, I think it was 3 of them BZKs, and I put them in a bottle of water, let them soak, shook them around to kind of make an antiseptic flush. Just me, not telling you to do that, but that's what something I've done. 2, just concerned over getting an infection. Wet wipes. I love these individual package wet wipes. They're antibacterial. They're one-time use. And I prefer these over the hand sanitizer, only because to me, and I might be wrong, but this is just how I view it. You're just smearing that crap into your hands versus a towel where you're wiping the crap off on the towel. But again, hand sanitizer works in a pinch. Alright, and then topicals. So you have stuff like your hydrocortisone for your itchy stuff and your antibiotic ointments and stuff. Okay, different topicals. I don't know. Let's see if there's anything else in there. Triple antibiotic, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Okay. All right, so that's what was in my little meds pack, and then here's my bandage boo-boo pack, because I'm the boo-boo girl. Yep, me. All right, so again, some more antiseptic. Just can't be clean enough when you're dealing with boo-boos. Alright, so I have a small boo-boo pack, which is just a bunch of random sizes of Band-Aids, and these I just got from laying around the house. Some of this stuff I had already, but it's really inexpensive if you buy this stuff in bulk. And then I had some steri strips that actually came out of a different medical kit. Medium boo-boos and some gauze, because you can get some pretty big icky boo-boos camping. Hiking. I've fallen down some really cool stuff. I've had some really bad boo-boos when mountain biking, flipping over my handlebars and such. But here's some transparent dressings to keep everything from getting more goo in there, just sealing it up really good. I have some 3x4 non-stick pads. Non-stick pads are the way to go. You don't want anything 4x4s. These are sterile too. You don't want anything sticking, because if you start forming a clot and you rip that thing off, you know, you don't want that. So that's why I have those. Then I have some larger Tegaderm. This is the type of stuff they use in the hospital, cover up, protect your IV. And then just an ab pad, which is a 5x9 absorbent pad, so it can soak up a lot of blood and stuff. Alright, so got all that. Alright, this side of the bag was a little more challenging to assemble because this bag, though it is similar to an older version of the Medimatic MyFac Large from, I think it was like 3 years ago, this one just has elastic bands on this side, so it made it hard for me to try to organize the way I want. It's missing pockets on this side, and I really love the, you know, I like that they turn the elastic bands. It makes it easier to try to fit stuff into the bag. But they took out the pockets, and that's kind of a bummer. I mean, it is a less expensive bag. The past Medimatic bag, or I think even the current book style one, it's just for the bag, it's like $100. So this was definitely less expensive. But pockets, 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 man. Love pockets, love organization. So it made it difficult to try to get this SAM splint in. The SAM splint is actually larger than the width of the bag, so you can see it's a little bowed, which won't hurt it. I mean, it's bendable aluminum for that point, but this again is multi-use. And they give you some instructions on it. You can use this and you can make a neck collar. You can use it for brakes and sprains, and you know, just a wide variety of uses. This is a really good piece of gear to have, whether it's a trauma situation or out in the woods. So the bands on this, they're like a smaller, there's a larger, and there's like a medium. in the other version of the bag, this was one solid piece of elastic, so this would slide under the elastic and stay in place. So the only way I could get this to stay in fit was to put the elastic band in there. I didn't want it on the outside of the bag, even though it's wrapped in plastic, just to, you know, to keep it clean, because you don't know if there's also going to be cuts related with that injury. All right, so then I also carry some extra 5mm gloves in case you tear one, in case it's really gross and you want to double up, or in case there's people who want to help you and they don't have their own gloves. It's just really good to have extra gloves. Now, this was a luck purchase. Menards had a sale flyer. They had these, they were special order, but they were only $3. A pulse ox for only $3. Now, how reliable this is for a $3 pulse ox, I don't know. I'll be checking it out when I go to my own doctor and see how it goes. I have a paper in the back keeping the battery from turning on, but it does work. And it's just, it's nice. It's padded on the inside. It's got nice rubber on it. I don't know. It seems to work just fine for me. But it's good information. It gives you pulse rate and how oxygenated your blood is, which is important. And you'll know why if you get some training. Okay, so now, this was Coban. Coban is awesome stuff. It's also known as like vet wrap. And I wanted a good name brand, because this stuff, you can get this stuff really, really cheap, buy it in bulk, but some of it doesn't stick very well. You'll wrap it and it starts coming off. And I didn't want cheap Coban. And unfortunately for me, though, I didn't read the ad correctly because it showed 2 of them and I thought I was getting 2 of them. But it was just one little tiny roll for $6. So that was a little more than I wanted to spend, but again, it's good quality. All right, this is a bite stick. They don't use these anymore. You're not supposed to do that for epileptic people having a seizure. It's best just to clear the area and let them go through it and just be there for support and stuff. Call 911. I've actually seen one happen when I went to Jazz Festival many moons ago. A woman had an epileptic seizure in front of me. Everybody was screaming and freaking out and stuff, and you know, I just kind of made sure that people didn't want to stick stuff in her mouth, because that's the first thing people want to do for some reason is, she's going to bite her tongue off, stick something in her mouth. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Get training if you want to help somebody with that in that capacity. Okay, so this was kind of a cool thing that I found. I'm not going to go into great detail about this, but this is actually for nurses. I bought it because I wanted to check out the information and stuff, but also for the faces things. I don't know if you're dealing with kids or if you're dealing with somebody who has an injury and maybe they can't speak, but the faces is a really good thing. But there's a ton of really cool information in here. Chemistries and temperatures, weight equivalents, length equivalents, just a ton of information. I'm not going to go over all this. I could do a separate video if you wanted to, but there's some conversion tools and stuff in there. And then SAM splints. Again, some more SAM splints. Ooh, those are getting a little chewed up in there. I'm going to have to move those. Getting a little ripped up on my foam there. But again, for fingers, toes, you know, you stub your toe, you break your toe on a trip, you know. So, self-explanatory with the SAM splint stuff. Okay, and then we got some tape. 2 different kinds. There's just athletic fabric tape in there, because that stuff is really strong, really sticky, and I like that tape. Then there's some Transpore tape in here. This is what they use in the doctor's office, in the hospital. It's really cool. It's kind of a plasticky material, but it's got a ton of holes in it. It's super easy to rip. And they've used this like tying down the lines for IV fluids and stuff. So there you go. A couple. I keep them in there. This is in my car, so temperature can become an issue, and the glue can get really nasty and turn these things into just a yucky mess. So I didn't want it contaminating anything else in the kit. Plus, it keeps them cleaner too. There'd be nothing like trying to help somebody and you go up to them with this dirty, nasty, yucky tape. I mean, probably an emergency situation, they're not going to care, but just not for me. Don't want to do that. All right, so this is out of the package. This is a 4-inch Israeli battle bandage is what they used to call it. Now they call it a pressure bandage. Really, really good piece of kit. I couldn't get a 6-inch in here without sacrificing some other gear I wanted to have, so the 4-inch is good. So between this and the Sawt T, I'm good for pressure bandages. You have your pressure point area here, and this is just the hook that hooks it at the end. So I took it out of the outer package so it stays clean and everything stays compressed, but it's really easy to rip and tear into. So that one you need to get into it. And then the ubiquitous triangular bandage. These things are so cool. They're so versatile. You're out in the backwoods, you need to filter your water before you filter it, you know, run it through your water filter. You need to pre-filter it to get the heavy junk stuff out of it. You can use it as a filter. You could use it as a sling. You could use it as a bandage. You could use it as a hobo stick. Carry all your stuff on there. Just so many uses. It only comes with two of the, I'm blanking out here, 2 of the safety clips, safety pins, so that's why I have extras in the kit in case you want to cut that up and use it for something else. And then the last thing in here is just a 4-inch ace wrap. This is the more modern style. It's not the old clip style. I still have those and they work. This is just better though in emergent type situations because it's Velcro, so it's easy to use. There's no clips to lose. There's no clips to jab somebody with. The Velcro holds very well. More than one uses though, they start to deteriorate because it starts ripping the material, the Velcro, because the Velcro it's very strong, so it holds very well. But if I use this for somebody other than me, I wouldn't use it past 1 use. This would go with them and bye-bye, and then just replace it. But pretty good size. So if you need to roll up with your SAM splint, there you go. Okay, so in a minute here I'm going to move this and show you the whole kit. But again, with the bag, it would have been nice. I like that they changed the direction of these. It would have been nice to have a contrasting background. And it would have been nice too if they put the pockets back in and had either one long pocket or 2 pockets going this way. It just makes it more versatile and to be able to move your gear around. Plus with these type of kits, the challenge is with these, but I don't mind, it doesn't bother me, is to fit all this stuff in here so there's not like one big thing poking through the center and your bag's all uneven. So you got to kind of group your gear and arrange it to where it all fits in the bag and the bag kind of fits down low, at least for me where I'm storing this in my vehicle. I kind of need it, and I want to keep it flat. I don't want it rolling around. So I guess there's the difference between this and one of those book style pocket bags, you know, where you can see everything and you know, kind of group things. Grouping things is a really good thing, like grouping trauma stuff together or airway stuff together or your boo-boo kit, or, you know, grouping it so you can grab it right away and go. So I try to lay out this bag the best I can.